Welcome back to our coverage of the Mackinac Policy Conference. You know, a lot of conversation here at the conference is centering around connecting talent to jobs and growth of business. So joining me now to talk a little bit about that is Nathan Marsden. He's the Managing Director of Bank of America, Southeast Michigan. Nathan, it's good to see you.
Good to see you too, Christy.
So most interesting conversation you've had so far up here at the conference.
You know what? I was really struck by John Rakolta's conversation, talking about our educational system, really the need to address it, and the talent gaps that we have as a state, and that we're playing behind the ball, and we need to make some very bold decisions about what we're going to do in our educational system. And I was really actually struck when I saw that, I think it was either 500,000 or 800,000 future jobs that need to be filled, and we don't have the skill sets required, which requires a huge investment in education. So to me, that was a holdover from the last policy conference. It was a very lively topic about what we're going to do, and there seems to be a lot of work done, but we've got some good people thinking about it.
Well, I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens next in terms of the push and who's going to surround the push for certain policies that will help to start to make some of those things happen.
That's correct. And it's going to require people, as they said, people on both sides of the aisle. If we can get to agree on 70% of what we agree on, we'll worry about the 30% we disagree. We'll start to make some progress that I think will be helpful for our youth.
So how are we going to start to connect people? Because we've got some of these jobs out there, and we've got really that kind of gap that needs to be filled. Talk to me a little bit about that.
Sure. I think every organization has an opportunity to play a role. And at Bank of America Merrill Lynch, we play a very deliberate role. And I always go back to connected to our purpose, which is to improve the financial lives of our clients, our customers, and our communities. And to have a thriving community, you can't have it without thriving jobs and people being able to be successful. So what we've done, we give about $3 million of sponsorships and grants, and we really target job training and career pathing. We target neighborhood vitality, sustainable neighborhoods, better money habits. But under the job training and career pathing, we have a few programs that I think have been extremely impactful. One is Detroit Future Leaders, which is 8,000 students, and we put them into summer jobs, paid summer jobs. We've been one of the founding members of this and been doing it for about 14 years. And you think about the impact of put a student in a professional environment, and then they have an opportunity to learn a skill set, create relationships and connections that then carries them on past when they graduate. That's a very vital program that I think is emblematic of how we can bring solutions and resources and expertise to a problem.
And so not only are you giving them that job opportunity, but you're putting them in a place where they can see potential, or they see what they can become. And they have example of people working above them. And I think that can start to shape what they want to study or where they want to go, really.
Absolutely. Well, think about probably your past experience. I know mine. I didn't get to where I was without great mentors and people that were willing to help me and that I looked up to and aspired to be. And that was something that motivates you to try to become better. And it actually opens your eyes to other possibilities in the world. And I know that was helpful for me. And I think we're doing that with those kids.
All right, let's talk a little specifics about small business. So when we're up here at the policy conference, a lot of people are talking about how can we get the Amazons to come here? How can we get other big Foxconn to come here to Michigan and to relocate? But really, a lot of economy can be spurred by these smaller businesses, the entrepreneurs that are coming in and they're trying different things. Is the capital there starting to really loosen up for some of these smaller businesses?
Yes, it's very interesting. One, it's the lifeblood of any economy is our small business owners. They are the entrepreneurs. They are the dreamers. They are the people that don't get all the attention, but actually are what drive an economy. Now, what's interesting is we have a semi-annual survey, our small business survey. And what we're doing is we're basically reaching out to all of our small business clients and business owners and asking them questions around digital, around the economy, around jobs and investment to really get a pulse for what's happening.
Okay, so what'd you find?
All right, here's what we found. It was really interesting. We had 54% of our respondents said the last 3 years, or the next 3 years is going to be, they're incredibly optimistic about the economy. They all see the economy being better this year. In fact, 60% of them believe that their revenue will be higher this year than it was the year before, and that they will have more investment into jobs and in their business.
Okay, what do they attribute that to? Because I feel that I'm hearing this news of, hang on, the next recession is just a couple of years away. Where are they getting their optimism? What are they seeing?
So, it's a good question. One thing that came out clearly in the survey is they all believe the new tax plan and the new tax change was a game changer. About 58% of our respondents said it was a game changer in their business. They now have more savings and discretionary income to reinvest back in the business than they did the year before. Now, that's just one thing. And I think you also take a look at, yes, the economy is moving forward, albeit it's starting to move at a faster clip. You're starting to see interest rates move along, which would correspond with that. You have oil prices rising. So these are all the typical types of indicators showing that the economy is moving forward, and small business owners are some of the first to feel it.
So if they're projecting that they're going to be doing better, what about that person who hasn't quite they've got the idea and they're thinking they want to start the business? Are they able to get the money to be able to do it?
That's where companies like ours play a vital role. And it really is a couple components. All banks have platforms to where we can lend and we can help them manage money, and we all have great products and services. But it's the expertise and how you connect expertise to solutions around that really matters and really makes a difference for small business owners. And what we're finding is we are able to provide many tangible solutions. I'll give you just one example.
Yeah.
So you have 90% of our small business owners are now using their mobile phone to help conduct their business. That sounds like a small thing. What's interesting is they all believe, I'd say overwhelmingly more than half of them believe that in 5 years, they're going to be using all digital payments. Well, you think about the ease and convenience that provides, and takes friction out of the system, and they're just able to be much more efficient with their time. They're able to be much more productive. So yes, they're able to get access to capital. They're able to get access to expertise to understand, okay, what do I need to do in my business plan so I can become a better client, become frankly, a better bankable client, make it easier for me to access capital, access resources, and that's all part of what we do on a day-to-day basis.
And isn't that really a big component of it? Because you can have an idea and even you can get the capital, but if you don't have the expertise to be able to get a business up and running and learn from others or have that guidance to be able to succeed, I mean, some of the small businesses that we've seen come into Detroit, they're really depending on a lot of that, entrepreneurial help and guidance from someone above.
It's true, and it's, you don't want people to make, there's a lot of lessons that people have learned over the years growing a small business that's larger, and you want to be able to bring that expertise back to somebody so they don't make the typical mistakes. And I'll give you one example, and one way we're trying to play a role in that is we have a program called Motor City Match, where what we've done is we basically, over the years, worked with commercial real estate owners that have vacancy in their buildings and connected them with small businesses that need the space. And they don't have, right now, the resources to build out their own office. And we've done it for over 342 businesses. And it's had a collective impact of over $30 million. So you think about that resource, and plus it's then putting them in a workplace environment where they have peers, where ideas are shared, and you also have other successful business owners that can provide that mentorship. It's a great program that really kind of gets to the heart of what you just mentioned.
Nathan, you have worked around the country. You're from Virginia. You've been in Michigan for 5 years. Talk to me a little bit about the perception of Michigan as a place to do business, as a place to grow from the rest of the country and the people that you're talking to.
It's funny coming from, as we talked earlier, I've lived in a number of places, and I didn't know much about Michigan. I knew Michigan was beautiful. I knew it had, pure Michigan is one of the greatest branding strategies that I've seen. And I'm an avid outdoorsman. So I always had a wonderful impression of Michigan, but I didn't know what to make of the business climate because you hear very cyclical because of the auto industry. And I'd never been that close to auto before. I'd been close to Washington, D.C. But it's amazing coming into Michigan, and this is my 5th policy conference now, seeing the amount of work, and I love what Governor Schneider says, relentless positive action. It was one of the first things that I wrote down in the policy conference that really struck me, which is, here we are at the precipice of trying to solve, at the time, 5 years ago, Detroit's bankruptcy. And we were talking about relentless positive action, and you could just feel from this conference how people were coming together, they were working, making decisions, doing the hard work, rolling their sleeves up. And I actually think this is something special. I don't think other states can replicate what we have here. And now I think it's a question of, are we going to now make some bold decisions to move this state forward in a way that brings people together so they feel part of the solution? And I think this conference is really a catalyst and is the place where it can start to have that happen.
Nathan Marsden from Bank of America, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it. It's good to see you.
Thank you, Christy. Really enjoyed it as well.
Okay. Thanks.
Thank you.